Okay, so we're back and we're better than ever. This is going to be a retro review for Dallas Season 1, Episode 8 Old Acquaintances. I am enamored with this show. I can't wait for this. Let's get into it. Oh no! Wait a minute. Pause. So the white man is sitting there. He looking at the side a picture of him and the blonde girl, and she comes in talking about with a bowl like a ice cream or something, and she's like so delicious, and they start kissing, and she's like, are you hungry? He's like, no, all I want is you, and they start kissing, and then this broad walks in, and she's like, oh, the love seat. I'm assuming that's that man's wife. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love this show. Wait a minute. So the wife, he's like, what are you doing here? He didn't get out the bed like, oh my God, wife, no. He's just like, what do you want? And so she says, she gives him a telegram. That shows you how old this show is. There's the telegram. It says, your appointments to the Senate seat, or to the Big Energy or whatever the hell it is. I thought you would want it right away. And he was like, well, what do you want? She said, I just want to know what you want, Maynard. Would you like your appointments or your lady friend? And now he look and try to figure out what the hell he finna do. Girl, it's not looking good for you, sis. Well, I guess he chose the post because it's in the paper that he chose it. Poor blonde. At the table. Wait a minute. So, of course, Lucy ass being messy as fuck. They talk about Anderson Maynard, who's the man who was cheating on his wife with Jenna, the blonde lady. So, this messy hoe, says maybe he'll hire Jenna as his secretary. And Bobby is like, nobody likes a smart aleck, little girl. And then his wife says, who's Jenna Wade? And then JR's wife, Sue Ellis, says, it's remarkable how she can bounce from man to man. And look up and look at Bobby, and Bobby giving her the evil eye. Child, baby. The shade at this damn table. Fucking phone. So Maynard calls over to JR house. It says, I got a problem. And he said, anything, I got you. You know, they've been doing good old boy business their whole lives. He says, my wife is threatening to wreck the appointment. I need you to do me a favor. Keep Jenna away from me. So what, he supposed to kidnap her and put her in a closet somewhere? I don't understand. Just break up with her. It's not that difficult. Break up with her. Stop talking to her. It's not like it's now and you have 15. She's always got a phone on her. Just stop talking to her. So I just need to say this because a lot of stuff happens really quickly on this show. And we only 6 minutes into 42 minutes. So this is going to be a whole roller coaster. So Bobby calls Jenna on payphone and says, hey, and all we catch is the end of the conversation. He says, Bobby would love to see you, meet me at the office in an hour. So this is, I assume, when he's going to pay her off to go away. Or he's going to try and leverage Jenna because he's been trying to break up Bobby and his new wife since they got together. He's the reason she had a miscarriage. And I think he's going to try and put Jenna in his pocket to use her to try and get to Bobby. We'll see if I'm right. Pause. So Pam, this is Bobby's wife, beautiful Pam. She really wants to know who this broad is because everybody was acting funny when she asked her about it. So she asked Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie is nice. She tell the truth all the time. She good-hearted soul. So she said, Miss Ellie, who is Jenna Wade? Because it seemed like it was a delicate subject earlier around me. And she was like, oh, she and her daddy were good friends of ours a long time ago. And she was like, and her and Bobby were particularly good friends. And so the daddy is coming in. He hear that part. And he says, well, for a while there, we thought they was going to get married. And Ellie is like, Jock, nigga, what are you doing? And he was like, well, ain't nothing come of it. So, I mean, it's in the past. What you mean? What you want from me? Oh, Jesus, this is funny to me, Jesus. And she was like, okay, good to know. She on her way to meet Bobby now. It's about to go down. Because Jock is a jackass. So Miss Ellie is like, listen. Stop being a jackass. He's like, I never saw an issue with Bobby marrying Jenna. And she was like, that's fine, but Pam is a wonderful young lady. He's like, well, at least Jenna wasn't Digger Barnes' daughter. Nigga, let that go. How long you gonna hold on to your fight with Digger Barnes? You stole his woman. You stole the farm that came attached to his woman. You win. Let go. Let it go. JR done set this nigga up. And this raggedy hoe is waving at him from the car. Look. Here this hoe come. All right, here punk ass is such a simp. Your wife gonna bust you upside the fucking head, bruh. Don't take off. Your wife is on her way. Oh, Jesus, he took off. God. So this hoe, she's trying to explain why she left Bobby. So apparently he plucked her up and they started dating, and he was showing her the fast life. Private jets to Paris, yachts in Italy, all that good rich white shit. And so she was like, and then you wanted to take it. You showed me all of these things, then you tried to take it away from me. He offered to marry her, and she considers that taking her away from that fast life. So she said no, and then she ran off with Geraldo, I don't know, some nigga. And then she was with Maynard, and she talked about some child named Charlie that she had to do for baby. This is... And Bobby was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm married now, nigga. I tried to help you, but no. What in the fuck? So, this bitch is homeless. She got $200 in her pocket, and that's it. He's like, well, what about the condominium that he bought for you? She's like, it was bought with corporate funds. The wife said, if I don't give it back, she'll wreck the appointment. And she's like, well, he's like, why do you care about that now? And she's like, because he was good to me. And then he says, why didn't you come back to me after it all fell apart with the other dude, Naldo, before you got involved with Maynard? She was like, I didn't think you would want me. She's like, I'm coming back to you now. This motherfucker says, find a place to live and I'll pay for it till you get on your feet. Sir, can you finance me? Can you finance me, Bobby Ewing? I got more than $200 in my pocket, though. Bitch, no. Oh, no. Look how Bobby looking at her. He's like, oh, he know he in trouble. She trying to worm her way back in to be your mistress. Don't do it, Bobby. Don't do it. I would hate for... Because Pam like to shoot. And she good at it. So I wouldn't do this if I was... How he knows she should have been a setup. You dumbass. So she calls him, and this is the same day. I don't understand how you find an apartment the same day, but okay. I guess things move. I don't know. And so she's at the find a place, and he's like, okay, so what do I have to do? She's like, you just have to come and sign the lease. Can you meet me now? The landlady's breathing down my neck. What? What the hell? So we not checking nobody's credit? That's no way. We just sign it off and that's it? Okay. All right. And so he's like, Bobby, they were talking about some stuff about a Senate seat. And Bobby's like, this won't take but a minute. He's like, take all your time. We'll get at it another day. Now that is how you should have known this was a setup. Your brother don't never cut you no slack about anything. He should have gave you all types of hell and fever for getting ready to get up and leave and go off with this bitch in the middle of the goddamn day. But of course, Bobby is stupid. So there's that. Now watch, that's Bobby pulling off in the taxi, and here's his wife pulling up. Now she gonna take her ass up there, and that raggedy ass fucking JR is gonna say something crazy to her. Watch what I say. Let me tell you about this raggedy motherfucking JR. This bitch. So she gets there. She's like, is Bobby here? She's like, no, he just left. And he happens to be walking past all. He's like, hey, Pam, Bobby just left. And he was like, come in the office. I want to talk to you about something. And he was like, he talking about this little raggedy ass plant. He said he grew. And she's like, yeah, that's cute, whatever. And he was like, have you seen Bobby? He's like, yeah, he just went off to go sign some papers, something about an apartment for Jenna Wade. My nigga took 45 seconds to dime this bitch out. And she was like, well, that's a name, that Jenna Wade, I keep hearing that name. And he was like, well, Bobby, there's nothing to be upset about. It's been over for years. She's like, are you trying to comfort me? She was like, what, Bobby ain't tell you? And she was like, no, but I haven't talked to Bobby, hasn't said anything about it. But every other Ewing can't seem to help but tell me about her. She's like, but that's okay. I got it. No worries. Pause. So this raggedy bitch never came back to the office. And now they're sitting around waiting for dinner. And he's the only one missing in action. So she was, and it was like, where's Bobby? And JR's punk ass is talking about, probably with Jenna Wade. So there's like, we can start with, Pam was like, we can start without him. And of course, messy ass Sue Ellen, who was JR's wife, said, we can wait. And so JR's talking about, I'm sure her affair with Maynard is over. It's hard to hold public office and have a mistress at the same time. Meanwhile, Pam is over there exercising her unbothered levels. She was a Marion level unbothered until the phone rang, and that little raggedy ass girl, Blondie, went to get the phone, and it's Bobby. And she's like, Bobby. And she goes to the phone. He's like, Bobby. He's like, I know where you been. So she talks to him on the phone. Apparently, he tells her where he is or what's happening. I guess he's going to have dinner with her. And she was like, I think you need to bring your ass home so we can talk about this. Baby, she going to light that ass up when he gets home. Oh, geez. So this motherfucker didn't come home until after midnight. Talk about, she just a friend. I helped her move some shit. You would have had to help rearrange your motherfucking nose, because I'd have broke that bitch. Child, I wish the fuck. So, of course, just as they're about to make up, this raggedy bitch calls down to the house. Talk about, can she speak to Bobby? And he's like, what do you want? Apparently, the man, Anderson Maynard, wants her out of town. He wants her gone. And he's trying to force her out of town, and she don't want to go. And at first, Pam was like, good for him, because I don't want to see her ass either. And he was like, don't act like that. She shouldn't have to leave. Her few friends that she has are here in Dallas, and, her kid goes to school. And he was like, you know what? Why don't you come with me to meet her? Because he's supposed to meet her at 12 o'clock. And she was like, okay, cool. And so here we go. It's finna go. I can feel the left turn coming. So, they meet with Jenna, and they meet her daughter, Charlie, who's a little dark-haired girl. Kind of looks like Bobby. Put a pin in that. We'll visit it later, I'm sure. And so, they're talking. It's like, she's like, I don't want to. The wife found out where I lived. And she's like, that's a powerful woman who loves revenge. And she's like, what more can she do to you? And she's like, well, she can slam some doors in my face. And Bobby's like, well, any door she slams, I can reopen. And she was like, you mean it, Bobby? I wanted to punch her in her face. Now, here we go with Maynard and JR. This is some bullshit. They're cooking up some shit. I can feel it. For all of JR's fucking plotting, he is scared of his daddy. Because he told Maynard, he's like, listen, don't you say nothing about Jenna when my daddy comes to this damn table. He's like, I would appreciate it if you had gotten her out of Texas. His wife is really on his back. And he was like, it's okay. Bobby and Jenna are getting along just fine. He didn't come home until near dawn. So you going to throw in this man's face that the day after he had to break up with her, she might be sleeping with his brother. Is that what you're doing, JR? Is that what you're doing? Because that's fucking rude. He was like, you're not going to pin your whole career on this girl. He's like, but I really love her. He's like, let me do the thinking. It's always worked between the two of us better for that way. I said, oh, shit. Did you tell him shut up? Okay. All right. The daddy is an ass. The daddy is an asshole. He told that boy, he said, so I heard you got caught with that by your wife, with Jenna. And he was like, I bet your wife really got you on a string now. He's like, yes, sir, a bit. He's like, well, in my day, we handled our women a little bit different. What the fuck that mean? How you gonna come to the man's table and punk him? Wait a damn minute. So JR shows his raggedy ass up to this girl's house. And she's like, what the fuck do you want? And he was like, Bobby never got over you. And buzz, boom, boo, boo. She was like, I have a feeling that you with this bullshit, you try to use me to break them up. He's like, well, if we both benefit, what's the better? So the better. Uh-huh. And she was like, you tripping. He's happy in his marriage. And then he says, well, you holding the high card. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you got Bobby's child. He'll never turn his back on that. See, I told y'all to put a pin in that little girl, brown-haired little girl look like Bobby. I told you. That raggedy bitch gets right on the phone and call Bobby. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, she giving him the whole rundown of why she didn't marry. He said, now listen, I asked you years ago. She trying to play the card of that little girl being his. And he's like, I asked you years ago, was that little girl mine? And you never gave me a straight answer. So is she mine or not? She's like, do you love me? He's like, I loved you. I love my wife. And she was like, he's like, it was a simple question. She was like, but I knew you all my life. He's like, I asked you to marry me and you ran off with somebody else, bitch. What the fuck is you talking about? She tried to give him the whole credo and try and simp him into some bullshit. I don't think it's going to, Bobby, please don't let this work. Jesus Christ. I don't think it works, but it could because he's stupid. We'll see. Bobby is such a fucking simp. So Pam wake up and she's in the bed alone. She goes to the kitchen. Bobby's in the kitchen. He drinking a beer. They have a conversation. He's like, why does everything have to come down to Charlie and Jenna? She's like, because they're our problem right now, bruh. And he's like, we'll work it out. And she's like, will we? Will we work it out, Bobby? Will we? Dumbass. They ain't got no DNA tests back then. All right. Sweet. So this is before the hammer drops because I'm pretty sure she's going to see Bobby and this girl out while she out. She having lunch with her brother, Cliff. And she's like, I don't know where Bobby is. I called the office and they said he hasn't been there all day. So he out shopping with this bitch all day. Bet. So then her brother says, just so you know, I'm running for the state Senate seat. The previous person passed away, and so the seat is wide open. I'm sure your in-laws are going to back the opposition. He's like, but I'm going to need your help. And she was like, yes, sure, of course. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm just waiting for her to see her husband out with this bitch. I hope she knocked the piss out of both of them. So, not shading him by telling him he's getting more like his brother every damn day. So, it was not Pam who ran into Bobby being a fucking simp and a jackass. It was her brother, Cliff. And he was like, hi, I'm Cliff Barnes. I'm Pam's brother. I'm his brother-in-law. And then Bobby had the nerve to ask about the daddy. He's like, how's Digger? He said, horizontal. You know, my dad's a drunk. He had a run-in with the Ewings. That's me and Pam's daddy. The wife of the man who arm you got around. And then he's talking about some, if you need an honest attorney, I'm in the book. And then this motherfucker turned to Bobby. He said, Bobby, you're getting more and more like JR every day. Just Bobby looking there stupid and stunned with his dumb ass. Face cracked on the floor. Bitch. Yo, Bobby is an asshole. Oh my God. So he come flying into the driveway like he got a fucking attitude because he got caught out there. And so she pull up. She's like, where have you been all day? She's like, I went by the office. Nobody even knew where you was. He said, do you want it minute by minute, hour by hour? She's like, how about second by second, my nigga? And he was like, I was out shopping. We got Charlie a few things. She was like, of course, Charlie needed a few things. And he was like, so what do you want from me? She was like, I want you to be my fucking husband, you stupid son of a bitch. You're supposed to come the fuck home to me every night because you want to. And if you can't stay away from her, then stay the fuck away from me. And he's like, is that how you want it? You giving me an ultimatum? He's like, fine. And then he's jumping in the car. Bitch, be gone. Miss Ellie is a motherfucking G. Let me tell you what she just told this girl, right? So she over there all sad, and she was like, where's Bobby? And she was like, I don't know, probably with Jenna. And she's like, you taking it well? And she said, does it look like I'm taking it well? She's like, yeah. She's like, Jenna's never been stoical. She goes down crooked and screaming. And she was like, I don't think that would help. She was like, listen, let me tell you this story. I knew a woman once whose man didn't know whether or not he was going to do right by her or not. So she took a horse whip to him and to help him decide real fast. And she was like, Ben was like, I don't know if a horse whip would work on Bobby. And she was like, I don't know why not. It worked on his daddy. Bitch. That ain't his baby. Okay. And every time he asks this broad, is Charlie mine? She asks another question. First of all, Bobby, you jackass. You showed up at this woman's door. She is just, well, I don't know. She opened the door with her hair in a robe on. And she was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, can I get a drink? He's like, does nobody want to see me this evening? And she was like, okay. So he poured a drink. And she was like, what's the issue? He's like, why are you in a rush? You got somebody coming over here? And if she did, that's not your woman, bitch. And she was like, oh, I remember how jealous you are. He's like, oh, I remember how vain you are. Why? Because I want to blow dry my hair, you stupid bastard. And then he's like, is the baby mad? And she was like, wasn't I enough for you once? And she was like, I'm going to go dry my hair. Because JR be thinking he be running scams like people don't too stupid to know what's going on. But that daddy done told him, now look here. You seem to be doing a lot of shucking and jiving and seem real pleased with yourself right now. But leave your brother and his wife the fuck alone. And now he trying to be like, Daddy, I didn't do that. Your daddy not stupid. He raised you. He know you full of shit and shenanigans. Sir. Okay. Things a little more simple. So Pam just showed up on she on one. She done barged into this broad's house and she was like, and Bobby's like, Pam, you shouldn't have come here. She's like, where should I be? At home waiting for your raggedy ass to get the fuck back? And he was like, looking stupid in the face. And she was like, well, it seems like you two want to talk. I would leave, but this is my own apartment. And Pam was like, is it? Because her husband is paying all the rent and it's in his name. And she was like, well, what do you want, honey? And she was like, we're going to find out where we all stand tonight. Let me tell you what I want. I want my husband. I love him and I want him. What do you want? And she was like, Bobby. She's like, do you want Bobby or do you want a husband and father for and security for your... She's like, well, with Bobby, I get all three. She was like, well, let's cut the shit. Is the child his or not? And she tried to walk away. She said, I never said he was. She was like, cut the shit. Is that his child or not? And she looking over at Bobby and Bobby looking at her. And Pam was like, bitch, well, what is it? And she was like, no, he's not. And she was like, good, this makes this more simpler. Yeah. Pam said, no, bitch, no. It seems like Bobby had already chosen Pam because he signed the lease over to a baby girl's name and gave her a check for a year's rent. Nigga, can I get that? I need that kind of financing in my goddamn life. Some simp ass nigga who gonna pay a fucking child. Okay, I digress. And she was like, I hope you don't have a problem with that. And she's like, I do, but that's my problem. And then she done walked up, child. They kissed and made up. However, not before Pam found out that JR is the one who started this fuck shit in the first place. Well, I have to say that I really enjoyed stopping during, instead of like taking notes, watching it and voicing my thoughts during the episode. I really enjoyed that, and I think I'm going to do the Dallas ones just like I do my regular reviews now. I'm all in. This episode was a lot. JR still ain't shit. Bobby is a simp. Pam and Miss Ellie are G's, because, chill. That nigga fucking with me who came home and his wife was gone. Because I don't do that. But that is my retro review of Dallas Season 1, Episode 8, Old Acquaintances. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a kid, and I will catch you next week. Peace.